Welcome back. That's right. We're here. We are back. It's the New York Gun Guys.
What's up, everyone?
My name is John.
My name's Taylor.
Taylor.
What's up, John?
Boy, have we been busy.
Yeah, I know. Life kind of gets in the way of things, and we were pretty absent for a little bit, but I tried to keep up with people on Facebook, posting a few things here and there, just trying to let everyone know, hey, we're here, but we got life going on, and
we're good over there. We're recording.
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh,
I know. Imagine we did the whole
Oh,
episode, and it's like
God.
fucking
And
gone.
there's only one track.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the summer, and my ass is very busy
Yes.
with work. As you can imagine.
Lots of action going on.
Yeah. It's a lot of shit going on, man.
Yeah, and I was just away on vacation last week. I was in the scenic, beautiful area of Cancun, Mexico. So,
Really?
oh, it was great.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, it's a fucking blast.
Yeah.
I've been down there before a few times. It really is awesome. I love it down there. And COVID, masks are more of like a suggestion down there. Obviously, like people who work at the hotel wear them, but like, it's just it's over.
I mean,
Like,
masks are pretty much a suggestion up here now, too.
now they are. Yeah, now that Cuomo got, fucking hosed with sexual allegations, he's like, we need to open the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's crazy. Less and less people are wearing masks. And
It was weird. I went to Walmart the other day, and they had a sign on the door that says, oh, if you've been vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask in the store.
Right.
And, I did get vaccinated, oh, boo, the comments. But, it like I was explaining to John a while ago, I got vaccinated because I was, quote, an essential worker, unquote, whatever that means. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it'll ease things for travel. Maybe it'll just make things a little easier down the road. And, so I just kind of impulsively did it. And, I didn't have any ill effects or anything, so thankfully. But how do they know who's vaccinated and who's not? So it's just a matter of just fuck it. Everyone just get back to normal. Let's resume life.
Right.
Let's have some freedom again and not have the state fucking ask to see my papers if I decide to go into a supermarket.
Right.
So, I mean, stores can say, oh, please wear a mask, and obviously it's their business, so you could decide to go in there if you want at that point. I just keep one in my back pocket. I went to the supermarket today, and I just walked in. I completely forgot about it, and no one said anything to me.
Yeah.
So,
What supermarket?
Stop and Shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, some people were, some people weren't, so I'm just, fuck it. Like, I'll just do it until someone says something, but no one said anything.
No one's going to say anything.
I know,
It's
exactly.
Over. It's over.
I know.
The economy is so trashed.
Oof,
and
gas prices going up and
so-
up, baby.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this gas prices since I was like, oh god, high school. I saw a picture from like 2013, and the gas prices were like three something a
Yeah.
gallon.
When I first started driving, the gas prices were like out of control.
Oh, yeah.
Like 2011,
Yeah.
2012, and then yeah, it was not good. And then of course the prices came down. Donnie T helped a lot with that, and now we're back.
Yes.
We are back to $50 to fill up my gas tank.
That's why I took my
Twice a
motorcycle
week.
out here today. I live a little bit away from John. I probably live about 45 minutes away from you, and I took the motorcycle today. I'm like, burn less gas, have some fun.
Yeah. No, it sucks.
Yes,
Filling
it does. And one thing I also wanted to touch on was if anybody's listening out there who happens to be of Jewish religion, all the shit that's going on right now, anti-Semitic attacks and hatred and all the bullshit that's going on. Just, stay safe. Just keep your eyes on a swivel,
Taylor-
especially if you live in a major city.
Taylor is Jewish.
Yeah. So I thought I've mentioned that in a previous podcast. I mean, listen, I'm not going to be like Israel, whatever. But like, there's problems in the world that we don't have to face here in the U.S., thankfully. And what's going on over there is a problem, and I'm not going to say Israel's perfect. And I'm not going to say, obviously, that Gaza, Palestine is perfect. But, unless people really stop fucking firing rockets at one another, there's really going to be no peace. And people on the left are saying, oh, Israel's a colonizing occupationist. Remember what they said, never forget. Well, they're doing the same thing that was done to them. And I'm like, do you even live over there? Do you know what it's like to have like fucking 30 seconds to find shelter because there's rockets being fired at you? Like, do you know that everyone around you pretty much wants you fucking gone? It's a really fucking sobering reality that everyone, I think, really should kind of stop to think about. And, then the fucking people over in Gaza and Palestine, they get fucked too. Everyone's getting fucked. So if people just stop firing rockets at one another and talk it out. I'm not saying that's the fucking solution. I'm sure that's been tried, but
unfortunately, there's
then you have the hate that spews up in America, and of course, they passed that law recently, the Stop Anti-Asian Hate, and Biden signed that into law, and I'm like, is that really what we have to focus on right now? It just basically sets up a commission to look into anti-Asian American hate attacks, and I'm like, but it's a hate crime, regardless of the ethnicity, whether you're Asian American, African American, Jewish, Muslim, whatever. It's a fucking hate crime. So, but I don't make any common sense at all, I guess.
No, there is no common sense to be had when you're dealing with certain people.
So that reminds me of like when the Orthodox Jewish people upstate, when all the synagogue attack happened, and they were like patrolling their own communities, and when there was a picture, I think it was like up in Rockland County, and the guy had the AR slung across him, and he was just out in the neighborhood. I'm like, good, that's what people should be fucking doing. But
yeah, I support the right to protect yourself.
Yes, and so that's my little spiel about all the nonsense that's going on with the anti-Jewish hate and the anti-Semitism, especially expunged by the left. I see people fucking on the left, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Whatever.
They just latch on to whatever they're told to believe.
No, it's so fucking bad.
And it's weird. It's just it's weird.
Like literally supporting terrorists.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm not gonna get myself too worked up over it.
Well, let's bring it back to more domestic situations. Let's talk about the Supreme Court.
Yes. So for the first time since I believe it was 2008. The Supreme Court is going to be hearing a gun case specifically centered around New York, which is the big fucking deal. So the story goes that two guys were denied carry permits in, I believe, New York.
And were they denied full carry? Is that what this is about?
I believe so. Yeah, because I think it had to do with New York City specifically, but it's a New York State Rifle and Pistol Association Incorporated versus Corlett, docket number 20-843. And basically, the issue from the SCOTUS blog, it says, whether the state of New York's denial of petitioners' applicants for concealed carry licenses for self-defense violates the Second Amendment, which everyone listening already knows it does.
Right.
But now the court has to codify this because, in the last decision was that you can keep a handgun in your home for self-defense. That was, I believe, the McDonald decision in Chicago or Illinois. I think it was Illinois. He was a guy that wanted to keep a handgun in his home for self-defense, and they denied him. But then he's like, wait a minute, this is the Second Amendment, and then went to the Supreme Court.
Is this going to affect New York City?
It has to. It has to.
Yeah, because they already, they're kind of, don't they have like special something or other where they can decide, like you need a permit there for a rifle, you need a permit there for shotguns.
Right. Certain cities, what the whole thing is, if cities enact permit systems, it has to be a shall issue. If they want to say, all right, we need to give you a permit for you to have this, then if you have nothing barring you from owning it, they have to give it to you.
Right.
If they don't, then that's a violation of your rights.
But you also can't sling like an AR over your shoulder and walk around in New York City with it.
I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah. Aside from seeing a problem with it on a moral level or like what you believe.
Well, what difference is that versus doing it in downtown Austin, Texas, or
just doing it here? Like you could do that here.
Yeah, you can.
But there's just such weird laws in the city.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. They have these laws that are over 100 years old, mind you. I think it was the Sullivan Act that set up the permitting system for firearms ownership, and it was actually, I think it was anti-immigrant or something. The Sullivan Act. You can look that up if I remember correctly. Like back those, old.
Well,
old
a lot of
school
laws
immigrants.
like that.
Yeah.
Are fucking
so
super.
But the city does things that basically infringe on people's rights. I mean, listen, they say you can own a gun, but you can't take it out of your house. You can't go to a shooting range outside of the city with it. You can't carry it.
Which I think they changed that.
They had to because they got sued, and then they're like, oh, we're changing the law. You can take it anywhere. When we go out to our favorite shooting range out east on the east end of Long Island, I've met people there that drive from New York City. That's fucking 2 hours. Hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours.
They probably drive like 2.5 hours just to sit in line for an hour to get in so they could shoot for like 45 minutes.
Right, exactly.
It's amazing.
I know, but they can't do it anywhere else, really.
Sad.
So that's the biggest news. And honestly, I think that the Supreme Court is going to side with the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association because, honestly, if you look at the way things are going in the country, many states are adopting permitless constitutional carry. Many states like Texas just got rid of their permit. Permit carry. You can just carry a firearm constitutionally.
They might have like specifically picked this up to side with the legal gun owners out there.
Right, because it sets a precedent.
Because let's say they just wanted to continue the way it was, like they could just have let it go.
Right.
And not have made a decision at all.
Well, for the Supreme Court to have picked it up, there must have been a lot of dissent within the lower courts. You go through the ranks of courts, and if one court in one part of the country says, "Oh no, what are you talking about? It's this way," and another court says, "No, it's this way," it goes to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So this case in New York probably contradicts many cases brought up around the country, especially the Heller and the McDonald cases that the Supreme Court has already decided on. So, I mean, listen, that'll be a big win for New York, especially
if it's a big win. I mean,
because you know what? Even if they say, all right, you have to get a permit to own this gun, but there's nothing stopping you from carrying it. If you're not a prohibited person,
I
that's
think
fine.
that you should be able to carry it.
I think so too.
You know what's crazy? I work with a lot of people who don't agree with that.
Well, that's pretty crazy, man. And even Governor Cuomo had something to say about. I mean, he said, I'm reading from the New York Times here. It says Governor Andrew M. Cuomo, a Democrat, vowed that the state would fight the case. New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Corlett, which he noted had been pressed by a group affiliated with the NRA. The streets of New York are not the OK Corral, he said in a statement, and the NRA's dream of a society where everyone is terrified of each other and armed to the teeth is abhorrent to our values. I'm like, motherfucker.
What do you mean? The streets are literally the fucking Wild West right now.
Cuomo doesn't fucking see that. He just
doesn't care. They don't care.
And you know what? They push this narrative of ghost guns. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything.
These people don't care about you.
They really
don't.
They
live under constant protection of people with firearms.
I know.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cuomo carries a gun.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So
Trump did.
Yeah. Did he really?
Oh, yeah. Trump had a concealed carry permit in New York. I think he carried a .38 revolver.
While he was president, you think he carried?
I don't think you can as a president.
Really? Why not?
I mean, you could. I mean, no one's going to stop you. But
who's going to tell you no?
But I don't think there was a need. Did you ever see the gun that was made for him by Jesse James?
No.
Oh, Jesse James makes, the motorcycle builder?
Yeah.
He has a place in Texas now, and he builds custom 1911s.
That's
Bro,
awesome.
he built his long slide 45.
Do you have a photo of it?
I'll pull it up.
Who's going to tell the president of the United States, no, you can't carry a gun? So he had a full carry permit out of New York City.
Oh, yeah. The guy's a billionaire. And he was, but that's what it takes to get a fucking permit.
Sad.
Oh, look at this shit.
They would probably deny him now.
So look at this gun. I'm showing John a picture of it. You could look it up. He custom made it.
Slide.
And now, because it was gifted to the president, it stays in the presidential library, or it stays in like a presidential library as part of like a museum, basically. So this dude, Jesse James, made him a gun, and now it's part of the American record.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. Like the gun that the
There's
Glock.
Nothing more American than that.
Right. And then they handmade like this beautiful case, and they put his initials.
There's nothing more American than building a fucking gun and then gifting it to the president of the United States and having it just permanently be a part of American history.
That's like the Glock 18 that was found with Saddam Hussein when they captured him. That's in the Bush Presidential Library in Texas.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was gifted by the team that caught him. He's like, oh, here's the gun he had on him. It happened to be a Glock 18.
Yeah.
Full auto.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're very excited that this case is being brought about.
I hope it goes our way, man.
I have a feeling it will. I honestly do. Because based on past precedent, they can't say that you don't have a right to carry a gun outside of your home for self-defense. Based on a number of states that, number one, allow it, number two, are now permitless. I mean, and number three, that it's been decided that you can have it in your home for self-defense, but the right to self-defense exists outside of your home.
Well, they could still say you need a permit to carry. It's just...
But the permit then has to be a May issue.
Right.
So...
As in, like, they have to give it to you unless there's a good reason.
Right. If you don't... If you're not a prohibited possessor and you go through all the qualifications, then they have to give it to you.
Yeah.
So they can't just arbitrarily say, oh, no, your reason isn't good enough.
But then at that point, why have two separate permits? You might as well just make one, and it's just like...
Well, that's the whole thing. That's your permit.
Right. Well, no, because they could still say, like, right now, you have a pistol permit to, for sportsmen. You can't carry it necessarily anywhere you go. And then now what? Are they going to say, like, oh, there's a separate permit for you to carry anywhere?
Well, no, that permit would then
would then be the whole thing.
I would imagine, yeah. So, for example...
Or, I mean, I guess they could... can they now... let me ask you this: can they require? Okay, you're not a prohibited possessor. You're allowed to carry it, whatever. But you need to pass a certain course. Like a 5-hour.
Certain states do have that.
Right.
Like I know in North Carolina, it's like an 8-hour course in a
Right.
live fire. But I mean, honestly, is that the end of the world?
No, it's not.
So,
but I'm saying that's not a bad.
No.
Like if the state wanted to be like, okay, but
let's see how bad you really want.
We want to know, right?
Right.
Just because they're still adding a level
Pass a
of some
course,
people
yeah.
won't want to do that or
Now-
can't afford it. That might be an issue too.
Now, if you don't have this issue, but down where we live in Long Island, Nassau and Suffolk County, technically your permit to own a firearm is a restricted carry permit, meaning that you
Right.
could only carry it for the things on your license, as opposed to upstate
Correct.
counties that give you a full carry.
Correct.
So, I mean, New York does have a carry system. It's just New York City that arbitrarily denies permits.
Right.
And what happened in New Jersey,
Well, I mean,
in other states where
Suffolk and Nassau also, like you said,
Right.
it's restricted, so it's not a full carry.
Right,
You can't
exactly.
Carry it anywhere.
But that would then apply to Nassau and Suffolk because basically they're giving you a permit to have a handgun. You could carry it to and from your activities,
right.
but they say, oh, no, you can't carry it for self-defense. It's like,
Right.
well, then why are you giving me...
I'm qualified to carry it to work, but
Right.
I'm not qualified to carry it to the supermarket. Like it's
Right.
weird.
Or I'm qualified to take it to a range or to go
Right.
hunting,
Right.
but I'm not qualified to have it on me for
Right.
self-defense, which
Crazy.
is a core tenet of the Second Amendment.
Right.
So, that's the biggest news, honestly.
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Well,
Some people will say that the right of the people to keep and bear arms means the militia only, even though the exact language is used in the First Amendment,
right.
and we don't consider that.
But also the people
Like-
make up the militia.
No,
Any
I know.
able-bodied
Well, I
men
know, but
from-
that's like one of the
I
arguments,
know.
right?
Only the National Guard
well,
of the Army or the
right. Well, they
militia.
say the right of the people. They're talking about the people who are part of the
Right.
militia. But it's like then what are they also talking about the people who are part of the militia when we talk about the First Amendment?
Right. The
Like-
first part of the Second Amendment sets up the need, and then not the need, but the reason being, and then the second part defines it. So that's what they talk about. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. That's the end goal, and then the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So if they
Right.
wanted to flip that around and say the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed for militia, whatever bullshit.
It's
yeah,
it's
the
amazing
people
how
is-
much the controversy is just settled around like a handful of words.
I know.
It's amazing.
And then people trying to reinterpret history. It's like, oh, and then people have been making guns in their homes since the fucking founding of this country, and then now all of a sudden it's a problem.
Yeah, one of my favorite arguments is, oh well, this was back in the day when it was muskets.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
what the fuck?
That was
has-
military technology.
It
at the
doesn't
time.
say that the right of the people to bear muskets.
Arms.
Right.
And actually, context of the Second Amendment, it was the same arms that the governments were using.
Mhm.
Back then, a musket was a musket.
Yeah. No
a
one.
cannon was a cannon.
Yeah. You could buy a cannon.
People
Fuck it.
had private warships that they
Right.
would lease out to the governments.
Yeah. They should still do that.
I think that'd be pretty
I
boss.
guess you still in theory
You
could, right? If
could,
you had
yeah.
enough money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could buy a fucking warship and then have it.
That'd be pretty dope.
Right? I mean, I'm gonna go build a warship.
I want like one of those oldie time ones with cannons.
The ones that ride like really low in the water. They look so cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like the old school warships.
Yeah.
Like when I say old school, I mean like World War II.
Yeah.
Now you see the new fucking battleships look fucking like future. They look like spaceships.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're really cool looking.
Oh man, yeah, but I would love my own private warship, but I ain't got Bezos money.
Just sail
so.
around with it
Oh yeah.
at fucking how much you
Well, I love
um,
watching the videos
like
of the private.
$10 million an hour to fucking
I don't even want to know, bro.
it's got to be millions.
I
of
love
dollars.
watching the videos of the private contractors that provide security for boats over in like Somalia and all that
Right,
shit,
right.
and they're just firing fucking 50 cals off the side of the boats at these fucking little.
I mean, you can
dinghies.
go be a government contractor in like fucking Iraq.
Yeah.
Like, those people make a lot of money,
Oh, I know they do.
and they have fucking like all sorts of shit.
Yeah, but you're also on the hook
Helicopters
for a
and-
lot of shit. If something happens, you don't have the government protecting you. You know what I mean?
If what happens?
If they say, oh, they're abusing these people's rights, or if you accidentally kill someone, you don't have the protection that the government
The
does.
government fucking
Mm.
accidentally kills people all the time.
I know they get away with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that these contractors probably do too. Is anybody out there a contractor? I would love to talk to them.
That'd be cool as
That'd be
shit.
sick.
Anybody have like some like fucking like clandestine experience out there? Drop us a
Anybody know
line.
anybody? That'd be cool. I would love to talk to somebody who was like a fucking military like contractor who went over there and
Soldier of fortune.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
I remember reading those people make a lot of money.
Well, yeah, obviously you're fucking throwing yourself on the fucking fire every day.
Yeah. But it's just crazy. I remember reading that they make like a lot of money.
Yeah, well, that's what happens.
That's a cool job to have.
I guess
dangerous, but hell, it's
mercenary, soldier of fortune.
I'm a mercenary for the U.S. government. Like that's awesome.
Oof. I'm protecting the poppy fields over in Afghanistan. Oh wait, whoops, we weren't supposed to know about those.
Right? Yeah.
Oops. I'm smuggling this cocaine from South America up north to sell to fund Cold War armies in fucking Colombia and Nicaragua. Sure, yeah, that hasn't happened before.
Weird shit has happened in this country.
Yeah. Speaking of weird shit, the Rochester mayor, her separated husband was this Democratic mayor from Rochester lives in a house with her husband, whom she claims she's separated with.
Right.
Yet they found illegal firearms, drugs, and $100,000 in cash in their home.
And she's like a proponent for
she's a proponent of taking guns off the streets.
Yeah, she wants to take your guns, but she has illegal ones in her house.
So
how do people get away with this shit?
I don't know.
Like how is
Democrat?
How is she not in jail right now? Is she not arrested?
I have no idea. I think because maybe the husband took the separated husband took the rap for everything. So on Wednesday, the New York State Police raided the home that Warren, which is the mayor, shares with her husband, Timothy Granison, and allegedly discovered him to be in possession of 31 grams of cocaine as well as a firearm, which is a no-no since Granison was convicted of armed robbery 24 years ago. New York City Police stopped Granison's vehicle Wednesday afternoon on Birch Crescent in Rochester, and cocaine was found inside his car. On Wednesday evening, New York State Police conducted a search at the home, and they also executed search warrants at 7 locations within city limits, including Mayor Warren's home. More than 2 kilos of powder and crack cocaine were recovered, as well as 3 firearms and a semi-automatic rifle, and more than $100,000 in cash. 1 unregistered handgun, a loaded magazine, and a semi-automatic rifle were recovered from the mayor's house. New York State Police Major Barry Chase said it was not yet clear if the rifle is illegal. So the only gun charge that Granison, the mayor's separated husband, faces is possession of an unregistered firearm, though his felony conviction back in the 90s
What about the drugs?
Oh, that's the only gun charge.
Oh, okay.
The only gun charge. It basically makes him, because of his felony conviction, makes him ineligible to legally own a firearm, regardless of whether or not it's registered with the state of New York, as required under the terms of the state's Draconian SAFE Act. He pleaded not guilty.
God.
So the mayor has been a vocal supporter of the SAFE Act and other restrictions on legal gun owners in the state, even as she sought to cut the Rochester Police Department's budget amidst a sharp increase in violent crime in the city.
How do people out there not see this and just think to themselves, "Wow, I'm getting duped"?
It fucking blows my mind, man. It really does. Like, nothing's gonna happen to her because she's a Democrat. Nothing, and that's the fucking sad part. She's basically going to throw her husband or separated husband. Recently, I don't know the whole fucking deal with that, but she's basically going to throw him under the bus. Be like, oh, I don't know.
Does it not just get tiring for you to read stuff like this?
It does. It really does, man.
It really just takes the wind out of my sails, man.
Speaking of ships,
maybe it was this.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah,
sounded like a doorbell.
No. I have for those of you who heard it, it's a little what is it, a mason jar. It's got pipe tobacco in it.
Is that pipe tobacco?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to investigate this.
Smells great. Open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matador slices.
Ooh, let me smell this. Actually does.
Yeah.
It smells very sweet.
Yeah. No, pipe tobacco's great.
Yeah, I wasn't too big of a fan of it. I remember you tried
well,
showing it to me.
You know what it is, like smoking out of a pipe, like a tobacco pipe, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You really need to do it a lot to figure out exactly how to do it. So it's so much easier to just light a cigar.
Yes, John is a cigar aficionado.
Yeah.
I just picked up some cigars for him on my way back from Mexico.
Yeah.
Some Monte Cristos, some
Right.
Cubans.
Yeah.
Legit ones. And, yeah, I always try to get him cigars.
They'll sit in my humidor for a little while.
Oh, man. I had cigars in my humidor for fucking years, man.
Yeah, you should just give me some of those.
No.
Yeah. I'll house them here. Don't you worry.
Nah, it's all good. But, yeah, so New York, people are fleeing in droves, going to Texas. Oh, speaking of Texas, don't know if you saw in the news, Texas signed a law basically telling the federal government to go fuck itself when it comes to suppressors. Texas signed. I sent you the link yesterday.
Yeah, it's like suppressors made in Texas will not be subject to the NFA.
Well,
or something.
it's kind of like if you view it the same as marijuana laws in the cities in the states. So obviously marijuana is still illegal federally, but states legalize it.
Right.
That's what a state has a right to do.
Right.
Basically,
I think that if you okay, so because you're talking about marijuana laws and how this is relative, if you possess marijuana or you sell marijuana in one of these states, which is basically who have legalized it, you're still in violation of federal law.
Yes, because you don't have a license
these
to
people
sell.
who were going to be buying these suppressors and not taking the tax stamp or whatever it is, registering them, whatever you have to do, they're taking a risk. I think.
It was already tried in Kansas. Two men they jumped the gun in Kansas. So Kansas signed a similar law years ago, and basically these guys that owned a gun shop started making suppressors and selling them to people. They were arrested, and everyone who bought them were arrested and charged, basically because they jumped the gun on the law. Texas put a provision in and basically said, we're going to sign this into law and then test the constitutionality of it and then see where it goes. So they're like, don't just start making suppressors, because if this law is okay, you have to stamp them made in Texas and they can never leave the state. But if you think about it, a firearm suppressor is treated like a firearm in this country. So technically it should be purview to the Second Amendment. Now, marijuana is not a right in this country, although some people think it is. It's not codified in the Constitution, but states basically said, fuck you to the government. The government's like, all right, whatever. Like they're not, if you're not a major grow operation illegally and you're, if you're obviously in the criminal element of it,
right,
then they're going to get you. But in Texas, the state said, hey, we don't think that these should be regulated federally.
I just saw that I think it was the Supreme Court is going to start hearing a case that's based around if states can basically become sanctuary states and cities and stuff like that because of all these. Basically, what I read was the Supreme Court is going to hear a case which will determine if states can just ignore laws that they don't agree
with.
I
think they can under the 10th Amendment. I think it's a state's right. I believe it's a 10th Amendment. Like, it's a state's rights issue. I mean, it happens all the time. But, so the Texas, that was House Bill 957. That was the Texas state law.
But because those are regulated federally,
right?
Can they just ignore federal law?
Well,
that's really what it comes down to.
So the thing is, much like marijuana, I mean, there has been a precedent set.
But there were also state marijuana laws and federal marijuana laws. So you've wiped away the state marijuana laws. You're still in violation of federal laws.
But at what point is the feds going to be knocking on everyone's door for marijuana?
I think they did do some raids under the Obama era.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think when Colorado legalized.
So this Texas bill does three things. It says it repeals the state law criminalizing suppressor manufacture or possession outside of regulation under the National Firearms Act. It establishes and legalizes a class of made-in-Texas suppressors that must be manufactured and are sold within the state of Texas from Texas-made parts. The silencer must be stamped made in Texas and must remain in the state. It would then be exempt from NFA regulation. That means no forms, background checks, $200 tax stamps, or year-long waits for government permission. Finally, the bill provides a path to secure a declaratory judgment on the constitutionality of this law before someone manufactures made-in-Texas suppressors.
Right.
So the last part is really important. And then the article goes on to say, you may remember the situation. A couple of Kansans, people from Kansas, that was a weird word, found themselves in after their state passed something called the Kansas Second Amendment Protection Act. A retailer there began selling unregistered suppressors. He, along with one of his customers, was arrested by the ATF, prosecuted, and convicted. They appealed to the Supreme Court but were denied cert.
So basically, Texas is passing this law, telling everybody, let's just wait until it's figured out before you start doing anything crazy.
Right. So it passed the House version of the bill cleanly. It now goes to Governor Greg Abbott, who hasn't said anything about the bill so far.
Oh, I'm sure
he may not have thought it would ever make it to his desk. And they're guessing that they're going to sign it into law.
Yeah.
But you know what?
If they had DeSantis, he would have already signed it.
Hell yeah.
It's a crazy son of a bitch, DeSantis.
People are leaving New York in droves. They're going to Texas. They're going to Florida. One person that I really enjoyed his work was a native Long Islander by the name of Anthony Cumia. He was the co-host of the Opie and Anthony radio show. Don't know if you ever heard of them.
I have heard of them.
So he used to live in Roslyn, and he was on the Joe Rogan show recently, the Joe Rogan podcast, who's now in Texas. And he's like, Anthony Cumia said, I'm moving out of New York. I'm going to South Carolina. And Joe's like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, apparently in Roslyn, he was paying $62,000 a year in taxes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Every year he's buying himself a brand new fucking car.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, listen, he's a bajillionaire. He made a lot of money when he was
he's
on
got
the radio.
he's got a big ass house. That's why he pays so much money in
but
tax.
it's also Roslyn. But it's not even about the big ass house. I mean, I've looked at his house on a map. It's not a huge plot. I mean, Roslyn, yeah, it's a really well-to-do area.
Right.
But it's not huge. So he said on the Joe Rogan podcast, he's gonna move down to South Carolina and he's gonna continue. He has his own media entertainment network that he's basically subscriber based. So
yeah,
I mean, I grew up on his radio show, and I listened to his live from the compound, his compound media stuff. So when he said that on the Joe Rogan podcast, I was like, oh shit, this guy's fucking moving too. Everyone's moving. I know. And it's driving up the real estate prices and the housing market's in a bubble and yada yada. And then everyone's like, oh, don't New York my Florida, don't California my Texas.
It's gonna happen.
It is. And places like Austin, it's already fucking gone.
How do people not realize this though? Like if you live here and like you're a liberal and you're like, wow, my state has just gone to shit. Like the taxes are outrageous, the crime is crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here's a wonderful state called Florida. Let me just move there because everything's really great. And then you move there and you vote like for the Democrats, and it's just like, do you not realize that? I find this happens where the people don't realize that the reason why things happen is because of the people they voted for.
Right.
They just don't realize it, and I don't understand how they don't realize it.
It's insane. I mean, even infrastructure here in New York. Like I ride my motorcycle on the roads, and the roads are just fucking shit.
Yeah.
I got a slight bend in the front rim of my bike from a fucking pothole getting off Sunrise Highway. People are fucking dying on the roads left and right because of accidents and drunk drivers, and like that cop that was killed by that drunk driver. She was indicted recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it's just the craziest shit that's happening here. It's like it's becoming just this complete anarchistic place.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that drunk driver like basically went on like a tirade about like fuck the police.
Oh yeah, she had
while
a
she was
live
drinking,
stream. Yeah,
and then like drove home back to I think from the city to
to
Long Island and like ran over and killed a cop.
Yeah, she was she had a live stream, like a quote podcast, and it was fuck the police, fuck this, she was drinking and whatever.
She was like doing shots.
And she was in the same clothes that she was on the podcast of the video podcast when she got arrested.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then she fucking kills this cop and she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "Well, what are you crying for?" She was also saying like capital punishment, eye for an eye. It's like, well, okay, time to run your ass over.
Right.
Let's go. And I saw the picture of the car, man.
Funny,
it
man.
looks like somebody laid a telephone pole on her
Oh
car.
yeah, I mean,
and
think
that's
about
his body that made the fucking mark.
Think about how fast she must have been going like 100 miles an hour.
Oh God, Jesus.
I mean, he must have died instantly.
And the guy, he had kids and a fucking wife. And it's just, I don't know.
This world is really sick.
I know.
And I saw there was a I don't know if I sent it to you. I don't think I screenshotted it. There was like an Instagram post, and it's like the typical like they hate police, but they like made a post and they were like it was like another pig like roadkill. They deserved it, and then they were calling her a prisoner of war because like
fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hold on.
And and the crazy thing is you don't have to like police.
Right.
Just because cops have a job to do, you don't have to fucking like them. And that's the big thing. People put themselves in these camps of pro and anti-cop.
Right.
You don't have to like cops, but you have to respect their authority.
Did I send this to you the other day?
No. He showed me a picture. It says from like a nursery, and it says new house plants arriving this week, and it's pictures of pots of flowers, but there's like Joe Biden's on either of them. But you don't have to like police. You just have to respect the authority and the work that the police do. Because all these fucking people that protest and they say fuck the police, but then when something happens, get his license plate number, call the cops, and it's like, well, then what is it, lady? What do you fucking want?
Yeah. They don't know.
You don't have to like the police, but just respect the job they have and respect the authority and the shit they got to put up with.
I mean, so much less shit would happen.
Right. You could have.
So I'm going to read this. This is what this says. It says revolutionary soldier captured. Says her name. Congratulations to the first woman recipient of the of the Nat Turner Achievement Award for speaking truth to power for the pain and trauma police have inflicted. And it says her name again. Successfully engaging in and eliminating a fully armed enemy combat, NYPD police. And it says the officer's name, a.k.a. Roadkill Police. And then has like the pictures of her and him. Under her picture, it says prisoner of war. And under his picture, it says Roadkill Police. Our ancestors would have been proud. Look at this.
Wow. Wow. That is fucking horrible.
And, like, I know for a fact people had reported this picture. It's still there. It is still
wow. There. Our ancestors would have been proud. Wow. I mean, whose ancestors? I mean,
whatever.
And you know what? It's a really, like, you know, I'm all for tasteless humor. I make fucked up jokes all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, in all honesty, when it's just that fucking ludicrous, and I'm not having, like, this clutching my pearls outrageous moment, but that's just fucking stupidity, man. You know,
that's I don't know
like,
what world these people live in.
You know, that's like saying the people in the towers on 9/11 deserved it, you know? That's, you know, oh, our revolutionary. That's like people fucking cheering on Al-Qaeda because they fucking flew planes into the Twin Towers. Our revolutionary brothers did their mission and brought down the capitalist symbol. It's like, that's ugh. Right. I mean, it doesn't take a lot for me to get like fucking disgusted with shit.
That's
because you know my form of humor. I make some really depraved fucking jokes.
Yeah, no, but this is like
that's just disgusting.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the dude was just doing his job. He had a family. You know,
Let me see if it's
not to bring down the mood of the cast here.
No, but it's just like one of those things. Man.
I know, but
like,
that's what the fucking
this,
left cheers for.
It's disgusting.
I know.
Absolutely disgusting. If you know anybody who supports this type of shit, you should just cut them completely.
I know, really. You don't need.
There's
life,
no
man.
reason why you should even entertain it.
Reach out to us. We'll be your friend. When I was in Mexico, man. Let me tell you, I met some of the coolest people from Texas.
Right.
And if you're listening, Zach or Cody, what's up? And shout out. And you know, we just met them because they had an open table at by the pool, and we're like, hey, can we sit here and eat lunch? And we were talking.
Just sorry to cut you off. The post is still here.
Oh, Jesus
It
Christ.
is still here.
Wow, that's disgusting.
And I know people who had like reported it. Like, that's something that should not be there. Like,
I mean,
that's disgusting.
You know,
all I know is that there have been lesser things that have been reported and taken down.
Exactly. Things that maybe on the right side of the political aisle that, you know, we're just supporting the president and we're taken down. So, but yeah, I mean, I met some cool people while in Mexico from Texas, and we were talking, and he was like, man, you're like the coolest New Yorker I've ever met. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not a fucking liberal asshole. So shout out if you're listening, Zach and Cody.
They're from Texas?
Yeah.
Zach and Cody?
Yeah.
Like the television show?
You know what's funny? My wife told me that after the fact, but no, they're cool dudes, awesome people. And
it's funny because you made a friend. I like obviously lost.
You're fucking friends, man. I mean, this whole vaccine thing has gotten really out of control. Where it's like, oh, you're not vaccinated, I'm not going to be fucking around you. I'm not going to be associating with you. Oh,
yeah.
It creates an us and them mentality.
Yeah. No, I just like completely like blocked that person.
And you know what, man? Like,
I know you don't like him anyway.
No. One of them I don't like. So you had a thing with two friends recently.
Right.
I'm not going to say names.
Right.
But you had a thing with two friends recently where they were your longtime friends, and one of them was like your childhood friend.
I mean, they're both.
Both. Yeah. And you know what? One of them I really didn't like.
Right. We'll call him number 2.
Number 2. Yeah. Well, piece of shit. From the moment I met him, I never liked him.
We'll call the other one number 1.
Number 1. But number 1, I mean, I was really surprised, and you know.
Well, here's the thing. Number
1.
I don't want to say any names.
No.
His whole family leans toward a certain side. I get it, and he is more of a follower. He's not so much of a leader.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I've known him for a long time. I kind of understand him. But number 2, like, had been at my house sitting in the back on my deck, basically like, praising Trump. Talking about how he thought COVID was nonsense.
Because he's a poser.
And then talking about how, like, he's not going to get a vaccine. And then all of a sudden, like, he gets the vaccine and he got COVID. and now it's like I'm the asshole because I have made my personal choice not to get it.
It's easier for you to travel internationally if you've had COVID versus if you have the vaccine. Me having the vaccine didn't do jack shit for me to get back into the country. I still had to get a COVID test, which I did at the resort, which was nice. But, it didn't do anything for me internationally. But if you've had COVID, you just get a doctor's note saying you've had COVID and you recovered and you have no symptoms, and that's your, thing. So getting the vaccine, as of right now, really hasn't done anything societally. I mean,
so there's a lot of news. Like there was I don't know if I sent it. I think I did send it to you. The New York Times article about the heart conditions that some people have gotten with this COVID vaccine, and there was a slightly inconclusive, or if you ask him, it was completely conclusive on his side, that there could be some issues with pregnancies and stuff like that having gotten the COVID vaccine, but they, in the study they said that they need a longer term studies and all this stuff, and I just decided like in this case, like, well, I'm not at risk dying from it or whatever, so I'm gonna choose to not get it until there's longer term. And he told me that I was science illiterate and that I'm part of the problem.
I like
and that,
how the people on the left, whenever they go to science, is the science. We're we trust the science. It's like science has been wrong before for thousands of years.
Sure.
And I'm not bashing it, but what I'm saying is it's an ever evolving thing.
Right.
We used to believe that the fucking universe rotated around us, and then cast out the people that said, actually, no, I don't think so.
Right.
Heretic, fuck you.
Right. Right. Burned at the stake.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, just because it's science doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Excommunicated.
Yeah. And you know what?
I mean, I'm pretty much being excommunicated right now.
Vaccines are a proven thing. Like, we don't have polio, thankfully.
Right.
But you know what? This one is rushed. And what you're saying is you just want some more time to say, hey, is there any kinks in this shit before I put it in my body?
I don't see why there's an issue with that.
Which is totally respectable.
Right.
And you know what? As Americans, we should have that right to opinion.
Right.
And people are saying that vaccine should be mandatory and we're going to stick a needle in your arm whether you like it or not. First of all, fuck you.
Right.
Secondly, like, that's not how America works. And then if you don't like it, then go fucking live in Mexico.
Well, pretty much what he was saying was, like, because I don't get it, I could be causing someone who has a compromised immune system to get it, and that because of that, I should just get it. And I was like, just because someone else has a compromised immune system doesn't take away doesn't forfeit my right to make a decision.
And what is that person with a compromised immune system doing out about anyway? If their immune system is so compromised, then why are they going to concerts? Why are they going to the fucking supermarket?
Right.
It's
just like one of those things where we talk about this all the time. This goes back to the guns issue. It's like, just because someone does something bad doesn't forfeit everybody else's rights.
Exactly.
So just because someone has a compromised immune system or the vaccine might not work for them doesn't mean that I forfeit my right to choose.
Yeah,
it's my decision, right?
Yeah.
So I don't.
Last I saw.
Right. So, like, why is this so hard for them to understand, or why is it so hard? And it's like, I take it personally because it's like, I'm not here saying that you made the wrong choice getting it. I think if you wanted, you should get it.
Yeah.
But so why are you, like, berating me and telling me that, like, I'm the asshole?
He's supposed to be a good friend of yours too.
Yeah. No, I just cut, like, when he started saying that shit, man, I just cut him out of my life completely. Yeah. I mean, I blocked him on everything. I don't want to talk to this kid ever again.
No.
Like,
he tried to do me dirty, but I fucking set him straight.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not worth me, like, arguing with him.
It's not.
It's not worth it. Because, like, and it's not worth it because if you, like, watch the news or if you Google, like, obviously, if you Google, is the COVID vaccine safe, you're going to get a million links that say, yes, it is, because that's the leading.
That's the propaganda.
Correct.
No doctors are going to say
whether you want to call it
safe.
Propaganda or not.
Not to get too personal, but my mother-in-law recently had an issue, and out of nowhere, she got really sick, and we thought she was going to pass away. And, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks before she got really sick, she got her first shot of the COVID vaccine.
Right.
And we were trying to figure out what was going on. No doctors could figure out. She went to 3 different hospitals.
And they still haven't figured it out.
No. Thankfully, she's mostly okay now.
Because it was the fucking COVID vaccine.
Well, the whole thing is, I was sitting with her at the other day at the dinner table, and she's like, I can't really taste the soup, or it feels like there's like a layer in between what I'm tasting.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, that could be. I think it could be related from the vaccine. She's like, I think so too.
Right.
Because they haven't figured out anything. 1 minute she's fine, and the next she's fucking a zombie.
Right.
And when her husband was asking all these doctors, 3 out of 4 doctors said, oh, there's no way. One doctor said, you know what? It's a possibility, but I can't say yes or no conclusively.
Right.
Which is the way it should be. But and even my family, when I tell them this, they're like, no doctor's going to say, oh yeah, I think it was that, because
now if you told somebody that 3 out of 4 doctors said there's no possible way, they'd be like, well, see, it's 3 out of 4 doctors.
Yeah, but those doctors wouldn't say it would, even if it was, because they're just towing the line. They're just towing the science.
But I'm saying, like, that's their argument, right?
So,
like, the one doctor just said that because, like, you have no winning argument.
Exactly. So that's my thought on it. And then, in hindsight, after seeing what happened with my mother-in-law, like hindsight, like I told you, like maybe I wouldn't have gotten it, But at the time when this was going on, I'm thinking it would have been something good societally, because I didn't know how long this fucking lockdown was going to last. We had international travel plans at the time, so I didn't know if maybe that would ease travel. You know what I mean? So it was just this.
But I don't do things for the social good like that.
Well, not social good for.
Well, you said for this.
Well, not societal, but like me in society. Basically, like me being able to travel.
It for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It was a selfish decision.
Yeah, right. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
For you to make that decision based on you made a risk assessment based on what you need, what you want to do, and what you feel your risk was.
Exactly.
And you weighed the risks versus what you want to do. And you made the decision. And I'm sure your wife made the decision as well.
Yep. And you know what?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep. And that's the beauty of living in America.
Right.
We can make these decisions.
And hopefully there's no long-term effects.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, we already, my coworker was saying that lab rats that they put the vaccine in, like 3 generations had like birth defects or some shit like
Possible.
that. It is. But luckily we already had our son before I got the shot. So
yeah, well, your son's going to get the shot when he goes into school.
Well, that's the fucked up thing. They're going to make it mandatory.
Yeah, they already did, pretty much.
Yeah.
Cuomo put out that all like SUNY schools basically are going to require it.
You know what? If I wouldn't give my son something that I wouldn't have taken. So if my son had to get it in order to go to public school, then I would have. You know what I mean? I'm not going to make him
No, I know.
do something.
Well, no, I mean, I'd rather not, Hopefully down the line it won't be required like that.
Right.
But
Well,
I have no doubt
I have a
that
feeling it will be, man.
Yeah, probably.
I definitely have a feeling.
But what's
it would be.
weird? Like, they're saying that, first of all, schools weren't even a major vector of transmission. They just weren't. And there's no documented cases of a teacher getting COVID from a student and coming home and dying.
It was all just this precautionary, we don't know what's going on, so let's just stop mass gatherings.
Right.
And for the first couple of weeks when they're like, oh, stop the curve, I'm like, all right, I could kind of see this.
Well, yeah, 15 days to stop the curve.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
No shit, we're a year and a half in, almost 2 years.
Speaking of being a year and a half in, ammo, guns, starting to trickle back.
No, I've read articles that said like 9mm is like 2.5 years back ordered.
Well, the pricing of it has come down. That's what I'm getting at. Last year, prices were almost $1 a round for 9mm, 80 cents a round. Now I'm seeing it 60, 65 cents. And it is available in any, you go to...
Crazy, man.
I know it's crazy. I'm not buying it 65 cents. But what I'm getting at is it's a lot of these shops, especially local to us, have no limit. Buy as much as you want, but at an inflated price.
Right.
So it's not necessarily... I mean, the supply is still limited, but...
Yeah, I was reading... Geez, I forgot where it was. I read it in passing. Yeah. But they were saying that that ammo... manufacturers are basically saying that they're like for some calibers like 4 years.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt
there's
it,
orders that they're not going to get to from like stores for 4 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, man. I mean, unprecedented demand,
it's amazing.
Limited supply in materials, limited labor. I know, but it's expensive. Like I was looking up 30-06 and it's still $250 a shot, and I'm like, whew. Fuck that.
No, I won't be buying ammo until it's back to like 20 cents a round.
Well, we're still going to be going to that machine gun shoot. So,
dude, but if the prices are triple, I'm not paying. Man.
Well, no, if it's not. When I went in September, it was still normal. It was like $30 a mag and $60 for belt feds. So, a magazine of like 30 rounds. It was
but if it's $60 for 30 rounds, I ain't doing it, man.
Nah,
I'm not doing it.
Would be. No,
you got to make sure before we drive all the way out there.
I could ask one of the vendors that I follow on the
because if they don't have ammo. Like if no one has ammo, where are they getting their ammo?
Oh, they get ammo, but it's the whole thing is their cost is probably increased, so their profit margins are probably less if they're not going to pass it along to the consumer.
I mean, I can understand like you want to do 30 rounds for $35. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, it's more of just the experience of fucking dumping a mag,
right?
You're dumping your load quick,
No, yeah, for sure.
What I'm talking about is the weekend of June 5th and 6th, the Shooter's Gauntlet in Monroe, Pennsylvania, I believe it's Monroe. They're having a machine gun shoot like we did last year for my 30th birthday. So this year, John is off from work, and we're going to be going up there together. So it's going to be his first time shooting a machine gun.
Yeah.
I'm
kind of nervous, man.
What nervous about? What?
I don't know.
Just fucking rip it, man. What gun do you want to shoot first?
I don't know. What are they gonna have there?
I mean, pretty much everything. Name a gun, and I'll tell you if they're gonna have it. I mean, like,
I would love to shoot like a Thompson.
yeah, they have Thompsons.
Yeah, would love to shoot that. That's like
yeah, they have the Thompson. The one, so the Thompson that I shot, it was the A1, the World War II version.
Right.
You know,
yes, that's the one I would want.
Yeah. So they have
such
that.
a cool gun.
Yeah, it is 45. I actually I shot that. I shot the German MP40. I like the MP40 more.
Yeah, I would shoot the MP40.
Yeah, that's a 9mm. So yeah, okay. So Thompson.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They got everything, bro.
Yeah.
They got
Just
like
walked in the line.
exotic shit, P90, MP5.
They have full auto Glocks.
Yeah, they got a full auto Glock.
I might want to shoot a full auto.
It has a shoulder stock too.
It probably has to. You shoot yourself in
you
the fucking head. Did you see the video? Not like it was years ago, but it was like a little girl. She was like shooting a fucking like a full auto.
Yeah,
Uzi,
and she shot herself.
No, she killed the fucking
the instructor. Yeah.
He like put his head like in just the worst spot of all time.
Yeah, which was really crazy because I think it was a runaway. I think she shot it and the gun ran away. Basically, just uncontrolled. The sear brakes or whatever.
She's just not able to control.
Well, that's the whole thing. When that whole thing happened, they were like, "What's too young to shoot a machine gun?" And I don't know, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, there is a responsibility for the person putting the gun in the person's hand. You have to understand, like, this person might not be strong enough physically to control.
Right, to control the
You could have somebody our age who's just so small and can't control it. Like when I was going through my academy, like there's a trigger pull test, and there's some people that failed out of the academy just because, and like we're talking about adults who just didn't have the hand strength to be able to pull the trigger.
Right.
And that's whatever you want to say about that person. I mean, that's a reason why people, you know, and they're adults, 20, 21 and up.
The one machine gun that made me stumble back just because I wasn't prepared for it was the FAL.
Mm-hmm.
I was shooting it and I wasn't standing correctly because I fired a few shots in semi first just to get a feel for it, then I flipped it to auto.
Yeah.
And it made me step back. Our buddy Bill shot the FAL and just fucking beasted it. He looked like
Is Bill going to go?
I'll call
Bill's
him.
got to go because I miss Bill.
He went to the last one.
I got to talk to Bill too about
Yeah, Bill's actually going to be here on Friday. He actually texted me.
Oh, for what?
Just to hang out for the weekend. We might go get some sushi Friday night.
What about me, dude?
I was going to say, if you want to come.
Now you want to invite me just because we're talking about it?
Yeah, because you just reminded me of it.
I have no friends left.
Oh, right.
All my friends all my friends are dead.
So, all my friends are dead.
All my friends are dead.
Just backtracking to John's dearth of friends, that's why I was the best man at his wedding. Because friend one basically bitched out.
Well, that was at the height. Not really the height, but you know what I mean.
The thing is, man, he wouldn't even go to the ceremony. Yeah. Sit in the back of the church. Be around no one. He wouldn't even come be there for you.
Yeah, I know.
And that's the one thing that really got me. It's like you can be fucking 30 feet away from everyone. Right. Stand in the back of the church.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, don't get me wrong. Our friendship is never going to be the same.
No.
It's never going to be the same.
No.
But at the same time, there's also the other half of me that's like, can I be mad about this because of the situation? It's not like he just decided he wasn't going to come because.
You know what, man? It just gets to a point where
I'm in between a rock and a hard place.
But you know what? To me, if he was really like your best friend and going to be the best man at your wedding, like in that level of friendship, like you make fucking concessions. Like you do shit for your friends, Go to the church, stand up in the fucking balcony, stand in the back, just be there. Go in after everyone goes in, wear a fucking respirator for everyone's sake. You know what I mean? Like just be there for your friend. You looking out and seeing him there probably would have made you fucking feel 1,000 times better. He's your boy,
That's what it is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. That's to me, it's like the biggest, like, kind of just like, dude, you're a fucking pussy, kind of thing. And not even like in a like lack of strength way, but it's just like, what are you doing? Like, this is supposed to be your childhood friend.
Yeah. It's hard, man, because like you know how I feel about it.
I know.
But like my mom is like very much like, oh, you can't blame him, because of
that.
what's going on and all this shit.
Because of what's going on.
Because at the time it was COVID. Very big in COVID. But like I had mentioned I don't know if I told you the story how 1 and 2 here, friend 1 and 2 got involved in talking about all this COVID shit. Is I pretty much like we were talking about, none of you know this out there, but you might know this. We were like really big back in the day in playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
So were just talking about video games and stuff like that. And I was like,
John's a little bit of a gamer nerd on the DL.
So I was pretty much like, hey, like I started a campaign like a long time ago before COVID, and I was like, hey, you know what? Like I would really want to finish it, but like, are you guys gonna, come out of your fucking caves? And he was just like, are you fully vaccinated? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, we're only seeing people who are fully vaccinated at this time. I was like, dude, like when is this gonna end? Like
what am I, a pile of shit? Like,
I don't know, man, you're fully vaccinated, and he was concerned about variants and not knowing if the vaccine is going to be able to prevent people from getting variants. And I'm just like, damn, I felt
it doesn't prevent you from getting COVID. It just lessens the effects if you do get it. So it's just like the flu shot. You'll still get the flu, but it won't fucking kill you. I say that in quotations,
right?
But to a young, healthy person, COVID, can kill you. It killed a guy I went to high school with.
Mm-hmm.
Over in.
It's going to kill some people. My wife's grandmother, who's like in her 80s or something like that, or close to 80, like had COVID and like had no symptoms and is totally fine.
Yeah, it just depends on the person.
It really does.
Yeah. So just because you have a vaccine doesn't make you fucking immune to it. It just means if you do get it, you won't fucking get the really, really bad effects of it, allegedly.
I guess that's his point. He doesn't want me to have it and give it to him.
But if he already had COVID, then
I don't think he had it.
You said friend number 2 had it.
He had it. I'm talking about
friend number 1.
Said that he only wants to be around people who are fully vaccinated at this time.
I don't know, man. Listen, that's I'm just kind of lost for words because it's really creating an us and them. And I know the relationship you had with this guy,
right?
And it's literally like, to me, it's just unfathomable that he would just fucking treat you like a fucking piece of firewood over this. Right. I don't want to see you. You're not. You didn't get vaccinated. Right. I got vaccinated. Well, therefore I'm safe. Well, if you got vaccinated, then there should be no problem.
It feels like because I have chosen at this current time, and I have told them like in the future, depending on how it goes with long-term studies and shit like that, and my age and stuff like that, like I might end up getting the vaccine.
Right, or if there's a better alternative,
right,
or if it runs its course and enough people get it to where it's not
whatever it is, because I have no doubt that this is going to end up being part of your flu shot too.
Right.
Yeah. It's going to be get your COVID/flu, and it's going to be in the same fucking vial.
Yeah. In the future, that's what it's going to be. But for right now,
right. So like, and I've said that, and what was I fucking even saying? I forgot. But I don't even remember. What was I saying right before?
You were saying about. Jesus, I forget something about the COVID shot and your friend. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just gets to a point where, like you said, it takes the wind out of your sails.
No, it just okay. What it feels like is because like I've exercised my right to choose, basically, right? My body, my choice. That now like I'm like not good enough to be like you're so like it's almost like, oh, I got the vaccine and I'm so much smarter than you.
Yeah.
So we cannot be friends anymore because I'm socially elevated now.
I trusted the science.
It's like he has now, because he has the COVID vaccine. He's like a social class above me.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like, and that's what they make it feel like.
Yeah. You know what I say to that.
And it's really I know that. Good old what an LMS.
Yeah.
Like my yeah. So no, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, and I agree. Like I don't think that should be the determining factor in a friendship, but they have made it that. Like
exactly.
Like friend number 2 has decided that that's the deciding factor. Like you're gonna talk down to me, you're gonna be a piece of shit. So
friend number 2 is a schmuck poser anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Screw him. Pardon my language, but for people that don't know him, he's the kind of guy that like chameleons into whatever social group and tries to make himself like seem so cool, and I do this and I do this and I could do this for this, and you do this, well that's cool, I know somebody that does this, and I'm like, who cares? Like you don't, like one of my coworkers said it best, it's like you don't have to lie to hang, you could just be yourself, like you don't have to be this fucking poser imposter dude. Like if you just want to say I do this and that, I'm like, cool, all right, I'm down, I'm low key, but
I don't get it, man.
His fucking jacket.
What's funny? He at our bachelor party.
Yeah.
He was talking about the jacket.
I know.
And every time he told the story,
the price changed.
As he drank more and more, it got more and more expensive.
Depending on who he was talking to. Yeah, I know. The guy's a putz.
Yeah, well, we all know you don't like him.
No, and you know what, dude? When I first met your friend number 2, I just didn't like him. And I'm not really like that. I really get along with pretty much everyone. Or it's like, even if I don't get along with you, I'm just like, all right, whatever. Right. This dude, I just couldn't be around him. I'm like, ugh. You fucking. He learned that I work in aviation, and he happened to be a private pilot. And he was talking to me.
He's not a private pilot. He just has a pilot's license.
Well, that's what being a private pilot is. You have your PPL, your private pilot's license.
Okay.
So that's the FAA class.
Sure.
So, but he talks to me like he's like he's a fucking fighter pilot, and I'm like, dude, like, what, you don't think that I know the realm that you exist in? Like, I do. Right. I work in aviation. I've done it for years. Like, I know you fly little planes and you go with your friends to a restaurant in Connecticut on the airfield and you think it's cool, which it is, but don't talk to me like you're a fucking Gulfstream pilot and you're flying to Israel. Like, you're not. Like, fuck out of here.
Right.
And then for the bachelor party, he's like, oh, I could get us a private jet and let's go to Texas. And I'm like, no. Like, what? What kind of... And then he's telling me the rates that he can get a private jet for. I'm like, you can't even rent a small plane for that. I sent you the screenshots. Right. The guy's a fucking schmuck.
You know, it's so funny because, like, when we found out friend number one wasn't coming to the wedding or the bachelor party or anything like that, the reception, he, like, came here, number two, and he was pretty much, like, just shitting all over friend number one. Like, I would never miss any of this. You know, he's your best friend. This is absolutely crazy. And then in the same breath, only months later, is he saying, like, he's, like, all part of the other side. Yeah. So,
yeah, because he just swings whatever way the wind blows him.
Yeah, it's true.
It's bullshit. I don't really jive with people like that. Like, you could be a degenerate scum asshole, but if you're honest, like, I can jive with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be a criminal drug dealer, but if you're fucking honest and you just shoot me straight, like, I respect you a little more.
Yeah.
Not saying I hang out with criminal drug dealers, but, you know, that type of mentality. But, man, speaking of criminal drug dealers, oh, yeah, we did speak about the Democrat.
We did.
Who's Democratic mayor.
I don't know. We're approaching an hour anyway.
Right. But what I was going to say, John, before we wrap up, we
just yelled so loud into the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get like
That's
really.
Gonna be so hard to.
I get really amped up. I also just drank a Red Bull, so I'm probably just like, ah.
Probably. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say any new firearms purchases that you're thinking about? Anything coming up?
I have no money.
Yeah, I feel you. I send you links all the time. I know Colts are coming back in stock.
Yeah.
I was really tempted to buy a Colt upper the other day off Apex, but it was like $550, but I don't have $550.
See, it's cool. Like, my wife makes more money than me right now, and she kind of just got a promotion. But I don't think I can get her to swing to buy me guns.
Listen, man, you know,
she can't. She's not going to fund my
why not?
My arms transactions.
Why not? I would.
You would?
If I was your wife.
If you were my wife, we'd have a lot of other shit to deal with.
If my brain was in your wife's mind.
If you were my wife, boy, would we have a problem.
Why, am I not pretty enough?
No. I don't think it's your looks necessarily.
It's my dick that you have a problem with?
Yeah. There'd be a lot of reasons.
Yeah. No, but, you know, my wife is very supportive of my hobby. And
it's not about support.
Well, no, like for example, my wife has told me, oh, you know, I would buy you a gun, but I wouldn't know what to buy you. I wouldn't know. And I'm like, I appreciate the, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, like, if she was like, what do you want for your birthday? And I was like, I want another Glock. She would be like, okay, like, I'll give you the money, go buy it.
For Father's Day, she bought me a really awesome pair of boots down in Mexico.
Nice.
Did I show you a picture of them?
You didn't. Are they like cowboy boots?
Kind of. They're not tall. They're just a little bit above the ankle. They're handmade down in Mexico. Really cool leather.
Alligator?
Crocodile. And
shit.
Yeah, I know.
That was close.
We here's a picture of them. So
those are come on, my guy.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I know they're a little gaudy, but the crocodile.
Buy the weirdest shit.
They're tan crocodile leather on the front, and then up the ankle, it's like a chocolate leather, like a chocolate color, and then the inside is black suede. I mean, they're really nice. And
how much were they?
$375.
Holy shit!
I mean, that's not that expensive for crocodile and fucking. So we were.
Well, I guess I don't really buy into that type of thing.
You know what, man? It's
you know I used to wear cowboy boots like in elementary school. My family still makes fun of me for it.
It's all right. My friends, if you're listening, one time I used to have a pair of Rockies, like kind of like combat boots, and I thought it was cool to like tuck my pants into them and kind of like blouse the pants a little bit, you know, on the bottom. And
like a fucking skinhead.
Yeah. Well.
Wow.
And I thought it was kind of like the metalhead look, you know, like the corpse grinder from Cannibal Corpse.
I remember you wearing shit like that.
Yeah, you did. This was in college.
Yeah.
And my buddies, the infamous story, my buddies still bash on him for me. So we're walking into this bar, Mary Carol's in Babylon, and and
smells
my
like,
friends.
For those of you who want to know a little bit about Mary Carol's, it just smells like piss everywhere. That's
so
all you need to know.
So we're walking in, and my buddies are like, "Untuck your pants from your boots, you," and then expletives.
Yeah.
And I say it jokingly, but I'm like, "Man, you guys are mean." Like, right. So my buddies, actually one of them, my buddy Don, who was on the podcast, was there, and we still joke about it to this day. So when I send him the picture of the boots, they're like, "Oh, don't tuck your jeans into them, you whatever,
right.
a derogatory expletive."
God.
But I like kind of some crazy shit. Like I have a very
you're unique.
Yeah, I have a unique
That's the only way to put it, my friend.
So getting back to it, my wife was like, "Oh, like I never know what to buy you," and I
Right.
saw these at the store, and I'm like, "Oh, these are really cool." She's like, "Oh, do you want them?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I don't have $375." She's like, "Well, I was thinking about buying you something for Father's Day. Is this?" I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Oh, that's right. You're a father now.
Yes, I am a father.
Wow.
Yes, my little one is 6 months old.
Good for you, buddy.
Yes, he's doing good, and he's starting to. As soon as he could really sit up and kind of like hold himself up, like he can stand, but he has to hold on to something, and he kind of falls. But as soon as he's able to like sit, and
He's got a big
still,
fucking head.
Yeah, that's my fault. As soon as he's able to sit and sit still, and whatever, I'm gonna do some really good photos of him with like the RPG. And,
God.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna call fucking ACS on you.
So,
oh God.
it would be a good Christmas card, maybe
That'd be cool.
Well, I'll do like a family friendly Christmas card, but then I'll do like
On the back.
Yeah, like an unfriendly family Christmas card.
Like what Ashley and I did for like our what did we do? Because we like for our
it was like the
wedding,
naughty and nice
for our wedding
thing.
invite or some shit like that. I think it was.
Yeah.
Or we did like a nice picture on the front, and then on the back we did like a goofy picture.
So you know what? Maybe the front
That's
one
what
will
you should
be
do.
like a nice one with us and
Family,
a little,
right.
and then on the back it'll have like my son with like the RPG and like I'll put a fake beard on him. Oh man, I have to show you this, John, real quick because I know this is getting a little long, but I'll do it off mic. It's tasteless. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Everyone, listen, we haven't gone anywhere. We just between dad life and work and our schedules, because I come out to John's house to record. He has the whole setup here. And between our schedules not syncing up, he's on the opposite schedule than I am. He's on nights, I'm on days. And between dad life and everything, it's just a little hard for us to get together. But we're going to make some more content when we go to the machine gun shoot, which will be really cool. Maybe we'll even do some live streaming there on like the Instagram page or something, or the Facebook page, maybe a live stream. And we're going to have John have the experience of just unloading some machine guns.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Oh, it's fucking cool, man. Don't be scared. You just hang on, point the barrel that way, and just let it rip. The Thompson's a bit clunky. Open bolt, so you press the trigger and then the bolt goes forward. It's not like a normal gun where you close the bolt. To shoot the Thompson, it's an open bolt, so you have to pull the bolt all the way back and it stays there. And then when you pull the trigger, that releases the bolt forward. So it's a little weird. It's like a delay almost. You have to get used to that. I really want to see you fucking shoot. I don't know, something like fucking, I don't know, like the MG42 or something like that, just a fucking 8mm full auto German, belt fed. That'd be cool. But
I'll shoot anything that looks cool as hell.
Oh, it does. Oh, the G36, man, that thing looks cool as shit. You got to shoot something in 308. Really get a feel for it, man, because those are really cool. Like a shoulder fire, like an M14 or something.
Yeah.
Or an FAL. You got to shoot an FAL.
Right.
That thing will. An AK. You got to shoot an AK, bro.
An AK has got to be done.
Yeah, you got to shoot the AK.
We'll see how much fucking money I have.
Dude, you're gonna blow some fucking money, bro. It's gonna be like your bachelor party.
Oh God.
Oh man. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in and listening.
I'm gonna have to sell some stock and take some money out for that.
Bro, I'm fucking broke, man. Vacation really put a dent in my fucking my monies. I actually don't have any money technically. I have to pay somebody to be broke. That's really what it turns out to be. My credit card bill's fucking insane right now. But yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in, listening. Like I said, we're gonna get together, do some episodes. Yep. And we're still here. It's going to be a little less frequent.
Yep.
Just and
don't disown your friends because they decided not to get the COVID vaccine right now.
Yeah, just be like a normal fucking person.
Yeah, be a normal fucking person and respect their right to fucking decide.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, man, because I don't go texting people saying why did you get the COVID vaccine?
Right.
I don't even ask people if they got the COVID vaccine. I don't
business.
fucking care if you got the COVID vaccine or not. I mean, did these people forget that like I worked throughout the entire like the height?
Same.
With like no PPE, nothing, because like there was none to be bought at a store because random people bought like truckloads of it, and like my agencies just like didn't have any.
Yeah, same.
So
same, man. Fucking people traveling all over the U.S. and not knowing where they were, where they came from, you know. And I probably was exposed at one point. I mean, I don't fucking know. I never got it. It was touch and go for a little bit, man. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. Guidelines were changing every day, and it was kind of crazy, to be honest with you. But yeah, man. So we'll we're gonna get together again, obviously, and do this again.
Right.
But John, any final words?
No, just
this one was kind of a weird one. We
Not
talked
really.
about some
I don't
laws,
think so. We just talking,
gun
man.
stuff. I mean, COVID kind of comes up because it just is part of your everyday life. People are probably sick about hearing about COVID and all the fucking shit, but it just is part of our everyday life.
Sure.
I mean, everyone at this point is fucking done with masks.
Right.
My friends from Texas were like, man, fuck masks, fuck this, and they, in a good way, in a funny way. They're like, man, we never had any of that shit, and I'm like, good.
Right.
So. I know.
Fuck COVID.
I know, right? That's the mantra of 2020 and 2021. Fuck COVID.
So fucking dumb. It's dude. It's just crazy. Like when I really went, like, I just sit there and think about like, that's it, man.
Yeah.
Some of my friends are like, no more.
Well, maybe they'll turn around and realize the error of their ways.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it won't matter.
It's
to me.
still soiled. At
no,
that
like
point.
that. Like for him specifically, it's done.
Mm.
Number one, like whatever like the friendship will probably never be the same.
Right.
But like I could still stomach being friends with him. Like,
yeah,
because he hasn't really come out and been like, like said what the other guy did.
Yeah.
Like what he said, like, I'm just done. Like I'm done with him. I'm just never again.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like I'm at the point in my life where it's like, if you want to be a piece of shit to me, I have absolutely no time for you. Absolutely no. I deal with enough bullshit at work, from politicians to bosses to the fucking people around me to my coworkers to the people I have to deal with. Them. It's just I'm over it.
Right.
Like this is fucking childish shit for you to fucking basically tell me I'm a piece of shit because I don't like subscribe to like your way of thinking. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And especially coming from him, someone who just flip-flops like a fucking fish.
Oh, I know.
So.
Oh, I thought you were going to say another F word that I frequently like to use.
Phallus.
No. It's 3 letters. No. Oh, man.
3 letters.
Oh, also shout out to our friend in the UK who's been talking to us, texting us over Instagram.
You got to message him back, bro.
I did. Well, I messaged him the other day.
Well,
I
messaged him, and then you
remember
came
on my
in.
vacation, I didn't have my phone.
I don't care.
So my first day this is a funny story, just to not make this any longer. But first day on vacation, talking with my newfound friends from Texas.
Right.
Phone in the pocket, went right in the pool. Fucking 10 minutes later, I pull it out. Water's just fucking coming out of it.
Sucks. You went in the pool with it. What a fucking.
And the case failed. So the case didn't protect it. This is a knockoff life proof.
Oh, it's a knockoff.
Well,
life proof.
I didn't realize.
Don't the original, like the real life proof cases, like give you like basically like a money bag?
Yeah,
they'll pay for your phone.
But this was ripped and water got in, so the covering.
But it works now somehow.
Well, I had to get it fixed in Mexico. I dropped it off at a phone repair joint in Mexico.
Oh God.
Well, the funny thing was that I looked up, phone repair
There's
locally.
no way.
And Google. So 2 things don't work. The power button doesn't work. And the flash doesn't work.
This doesn't work.
No, yeah, the power button doesn't work and the flash doesn't work. Everything else they fucking saved. They had to like swap motherboards and logic boards.
Dude,
but so I have that button on my screen, that little white.
And when you bring that to turn it in,
I'm not. I already own the phone. I bought it. It's not leased. I have T-Mobile, so I just buy them outright.
Oh,
I've had this phone since it came out in 2018.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I do the leasing program.
But see, for me, it's worth it just to buy it outright.
Mm-hmm.
Just
why?
So that way, nobody else owns my phone.
So what does it matter?
Well, that's the whole thing. If somebody else owns your phone, technically you're at the whim of them. If you just buy the phone,
who am I at the whim of?
If they just decide, just say fuck you, then they'll fuck you. Like
can you be more specific? Like
I'm just saying in general, like
that's with anything.
It's like a leased car versus owning a car.
Sure.
You're bound by their restrictions. If I own the phone, if I want to get a new phone, I could still keep this one,
right,
and do whatever I want with it.
Sure.
If you have that,
well,
phone,
I could do that too. I would just have to pay for the full value of the phone.
Well, exactly.
It's just the program is just based on upgrading.
Right. And I don't really upgrade my phones that often. I fucking ride them out till they die. The last one I had before this was the 7.
But
this
the problem
is the X.
I know that. And the argument for a lot of people is, well, I want to be able to use the phone and get the full value of it, whatever. But like their computers are not made to last like 5-6 years.
Right. Well,
and that's why, like, I wouldn't lease a car.
No.
Me personally, because like you could get 20 years out of a car.
Right.
If you really needed to. You can't get, 20 years out of a car.
I mean,
you can't. You can't. Not with an iPhone.
My laptop, my MacBook, I have a 2012 MacBook.
It's different. That's not a phone.
It's still a computer. This is a computer. They make these not upgradable anymore. But my MacBook, bro, I just put a new hard drive, battery, and RAM in it, and it fucking works like a brand new computer. Sure. It's amazing. I try to get the longevity out of my shit.
Problem is with these phones, like the operating systems are made.
I know,
that are
they
just so much.
degrade them.
Well, it's not about degrading. It's just the operating systems become so much more intensive. They need the better pieces.
Well, Apple also designs it in their iOS to not support older phones. So theoretically, this phone, if it just stays on the operating system that it came with, could last indefinitely.
Yes. But then they force upgrades.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So that's why I don't really like it.
Right.
But I get my money's worth. I'm going to have this probably for another year or two. So, 2018, 19, 20,
That's crazy.
So 4 or 5 years.
Can't imagine that.
Well, listen. Call it as you will. I'm a little frugal, let's just say in that. And also, T-Mobile doesn't lease the phones. That's the whole thing. T-Mobile, unless you're a new customer and they give you some incentive, T-Mobile, you buy them outright. Verizon, they do the phone.
Well, no, I don't even do it through. I have the
Oh, you go through Apple?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That way, you just go in there and you just you pay for half the value of the phone basically, and you can upgrade it, and they put the other value toward or whatever.
Right.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah, they get you one way.
You pay forever, but it's it would be the same thing as if
Yeah.
it would be the same thing as if I just got a new phone every 2 years. I'd still be paying forever. So
yeah. With this phone, you pay half the value, and then you pay off half over 2 years. That's the way they do it.
With this is you pay half the value over a year, and then you're eligible to go in and get an upgrade. I'm actually beyond. I have to go in.
Yeah, they're just milking you for money. Everyone.
No,
just
you're paying for the ability to just upgrade.
Yeah, but me, like I said, I don't upgrade to the newest phone every time, so it's not worth it for me.
No, I know.
But
I hear you.
To each their own, John.
Yeah.
Are you better than me because you lease your phone and you get it?
Yes. Yes, I am. I am.
I should have the choice not to upgrade. Fucking. Oh boy. All right, this has gone on too long. Everyone, follow us: Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast from. Contact us, message us, show off some cool shit you got. If you are a mercenary or if you're a government contractor, message us.
Yes. If you have info on UFOs and their origins, let us know.
They live under the sea, my friend.
Hollow Earth theory?
Yeah, whatever. I don't fucking know.
That's a theory, dude.
I know. There's so many fucking theories out there. Oh boy.
I mean, people are still saying that we basically exist on the back of a turtle. People really do think that the world is flat.
I know. And it fucking blows my mind.
It's weird.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, like Taylor said, check us out and everything and contact us and let us know. And until then, be safe.
Thanks, everyone.